Well, where are we on this? And, I grew up learning that we had been involved with Patrice Lumumba to some extent. We supported the coup in Vietnam that ended up killing Diem, our partner. Assassination has been a dirty, awful business historically. We've been too close to too much involved in it over the years. I thought after the Church Commission back in the 70s, we said, enough of that. We're not going to assassinate anymore.
Well, as you know, Soleimani was not a head of state, and the Church Commission really mainly applied to head of states. But the important thing here, Chris, is the wisdom of this choice, and also the crazy shifting explanations, imminent, not imminent, 4 embassies, 1 embassy, no embassy. It truly strains credulity. And whatever the intelligence indicates, I think we know from members of Congress who received the briefings that they really had no case for imminence. They may have had a collection of noise, chatter, intelligence reports. I think those of us who've been following Iran for a long time would assume that the Quds Force and therefore Soleimani are constantly surveilling our embassies, surveilling our personnel, and having plots in their back pocket. Bring him to fruition, though, is quite a different thing. But to me, what I'm most worried about is the wisdom of this killing. The fact is that if you look at where we are since this happened, it's been setback after setback to our strategic interests. The Iraqis want us out. They're now pushing to make that happen. The campaign against ISIS, the reason why we're in Iraq in the first place, has been suspended. And the nuclear program, which had been incrementally restarting after we pulled out of the nuclear deal unilaterally, is now full steam ahead. And so all of these very important concerns to our interests have been set back in a fundamental way. So this was not a smart move. It was bad for our security, bad for our standing in the region. And yes, many people, myself included, are glad to see a world without Soleimani. But I don't think the benefits nearly outweighed the costs.
Well, is that why? Because it's ended up with all these bad chain reactions going on now. We're out. It's going to be who lost Iraq now. We've got the people in the streets of Tehran all crying and miserable because a hero of theirs has been killed by us, assassinated by us. Where is this going to take us?
It's going to take us, Chris, to a continuing
Are we ever going to be not at this sort of Cold War with Iran?
Well, not for a while. And what happened as a result of the retaliation, the Iranians, retaliated in quite a calibrated way, clearly designed to eliminate or minimize the risk of casualties. But they're not done. Anybody who knows Iran and knows the importance of Soleimani to Iran, as I do, as many do, would assume that the Iranians' next steps will unfold over time in places we don't expect, but they will involve proxy attacks on our personnel, perhaps our diplomatic facilities, as well as our military personnel. It's going to involve cyber, and it could well involve terrorist attacks, as we've seen in the past, and not necessarily isolated to the Middle East.
Well, that's scary. Where could they hit us?
The Iranians have capacity globally. We've seen them hit in Latin America. We know they tried to plot here in the United States, a failed plot that was foiled against the Saudi ambassador. We know they have capacities in Asia through Hezbollah and others. So the Iranians have reach.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.